Hi everyone, this video is to introduce to you section 6.2, which is on substitution. We're only going to do simple examples in this video. We'll do more on Monday. So the overall process for substitution is another way to find a solution instead of graphing. So we have learned how to solve by graphing and looking for the intersection point. We can actually find that intersection point without having to graph anything at all for any two equations. So the first step in substitution is to solve for one variable in one of the equations. And then we're going to substitute that into the other equation and solve. Once we get that answer, we'll have to plug it back into another equation. Now that sounds really long, but when you see the example, you'll see what I mean by all this. So the first step, we'll focus on that one, is to solve for a variable in one equation. Well, if you notice, this first equation is already solved for y. So we're actually done with that first step. Those are the only ones we're going to have for this video. The second step is to substitute that variable into the other equation and solve. So what I mean by that is if here you see a y and y equals 2x plus 1, well, here's a y in the other equation. So if y equals 2x plus 1, I'm actually going to put 2x plus 1 into the place of y. So now what you'll see is we're going to have 3x plus, but instead of writing y, I'm going to plug in what y is equal to. Well, y is equal to 2x plus 1. So notice how that got written instead of the y. The rest of the equation looks the same. So then you're going to get equals -9. Now we can combine like terms. 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 1 equals -9. The only variable left is x, so let's solve for x. Subtract 1 from both sides, and 5x equals -10. Divide both sides by 5, and x equals -2. Well, if you remember, we're looking for a point, because the point of intersection has an x value and a y value. So now we're going to do, sorry, I'll check off we solved for x. But the next step is to solve for the other variable. We need the y value. So we're going to take this x equals -2 and plug it into the other equation that'll give us y. So if y equals 2x plus 1, let's take this x value and put it in for x. So y equals 2 times -2 plus 1. -4 plus 1, and -3. So since x is -2 and y equals -3, my solution is the point -2, -3. If we graphed it, we would see that this is the intersection point. So just to recap, all I did was, since y was already solved for, take what it's equal to and plug it in for y. Then we're going to solve for x. Then take x and plug it into the equation for y to get y. And then you have your point. So I'll do one more example. And in this example, y is going to be equal to -4x plus 12. And 2x plus y equals 2. So again, notice how y is already solved for. So what I'm going to do is to take what y is equal to, this -4x plus 12, and plug it in for y in the other equation. So that will give you 2x plus, but instead of writing y, I'm going to write what it's equal to, and y is equal to -4x plus 12. Notice how that's going in for y. And then I have to finish the rest of the equation out, equals 2. Now solve for x. 2x minus 4x is -2x. plus 12 equals 2. Subtract 12 from both sides. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. Divide both sides by negative 2. Don't forget that a negative divided by a negative, some of you are still making this mistake, negative divided by negative is a positive, so this is positive x equals 5. But you're not done yet. You need an x comma y. So we need the y value, which means take this x, plug it into here. Because y equals negative 4x plus 12, I'm going to take the x value and plug it in for x. This is negative 20 plus 12. Negative 20 is the larger number in magnitude, in size, and so this is negative 8. So what this means is the point that is my solution is the 0.5, the x value, comma, negative 8, the y value. This would be my final answer. So for homework, what I want you guys to do is on page 342, check your progress, numbers 1A and 1B. And then on page 345, do number 1.